Oh, hello, I'm Dave.
And I'm Jacob.
And today we're going to get our greasy fingerprints all over Asus's super skinny Max-Q gaming laptop, the Zephyrus.
Yeah, that's a bit of a ropey name.
Yeah, we're back to Greek gods again, people.
Apparently it's something to do with horses and the wind or something like that.
Yeah,
but at least
fathering
it's
horses.
better than the GX501V name they initially gave it.
Yeah, it's pretty boring. Anyway, so let's take a look. Boom! There it is. There it is.
Okay. Forget all that naming rubbish though, because the sleek 15-inch beauty is the most powerful gaming laptop we've ever had our grubby mitts on. Houses a Core i7, which runs at 3.4 GHz under load, and a full GTX 1080.
Yeah, so Asus have managed to get a top-spec mobile Pascal GPU into this 17mm thick chassis. And it won't burn a hole in your desktop the instant you jump from a plane in PUBG either.
Yeah, it is rather sexy.
Shiny. Well, it is until you do this. Yeah, look at these faces. These are not our happy faces.
I understand why they've done this, trying to move the keyboard away from the toasty parts of the GPU and CPU on the laptop, but I'm just not personally a big fan of this.
Yeah, it makes this ultra-powerful machine look kind of basic, kind of like Kylo Ren's speak and spell.
What also happens when you open the lid, though, is this.
This extra little bit of cooling under here, this little vent that pops out. So that's what allows the GTX 1080 GPU inside of this to hit a pretty healthy 1400 megahertz. Now that's a bit lower than the standard GTX 1080 that goes into the other sort of laptops. Those are sort of rated around 1500 to 1700 megahertz. But the reason this is slightly lower is because this is our first taste of NVIDIA's Max-Q design.
This means that the rated specs have been lowered ever so slightly to allow the beefy GPU to run in a thermally constrained environment. Not only have NVIDIA tweaked the design to allow some better cooling, but also they have limited the amount of power that this graphics card is going to use compared to the full size.
Yeah. All this is aimed at delivering gaming performance. It's only about 10% shy of what the normal GTX 1080 will deliver in like really beefy laptops.
Yeah, unfortunately, while the vent delivers 32% better cooling and 20% lower system temperatures, it only really feels comfortable when you've got it sat on a desktop. And because this little flimsy vent, well, feels very flimsy on the Zephyrus, it's not that great to be on your lap.
Yeah, this Max-Q design does mean that you're going to get about an hour of proper GTX 1080 gaming away from the plug though.
Yeah, but this weird keyboard design also means you kind of look like a rocker wielding a keytar while you're using it.
That's my rocker face. We should probably take a moment to talk about the screen that Asus have dropped into the Zephyrus as well, because it's bloody gorgeous. This is like a really nice IPS panel, runs at 120 Hz, got G-Sync enabled, and it's got pretty impeccable viewing angles as well.
Yeah, it is unfortunately only a 1080p screen, which might not be great for high-res monitor aficionados, but it's plenty enough for gaming or doing any kind of standard gaming on that.
It means you get the gaming performance as well, because it's a slightly lower resolution.
Yeah.
So now it's on to the actual gaming performance of the Zephyrus.
In Rise of the Tomb Raider, GTA 5 and the Intensive Heaven benchmark, the Zephyrus is delivering average frame rates which are over 100 FPS. In GTA 5 in particular, you're able to nail the 120 Hz the screen needs for optimum G-synciness.
And in 3D Mark, it's hitting just short of 14,000 marks, all those important marks.
That 1080p panel, however, is more evidence that the Zephyrus is primarily designed for desktop use. If you're set on a desk that you can easily plug a 2K or 4K monitor into, the laptop screen then is almost just there for when you're away from home.
Okay, so what else is in the box?
Well, more evidence that the Zephyrus wants to be remained tethered to your desktop.
Yeah, now we assume that this is a wrist rest and not some weird cuddle for use in a particularly vicious LAN party or sex party.
And there also is a little screwdriver in here, which I assume means Asus want you to mod your $3 machine. We have a few ideas of our own, so take it away.
Let's go. Okay, right, so we were going to use this little handy screwdriver to unscrew that little flimsy vent underneath, but it doesn't fit, strangely, so I'm not actually entirely sure what this is for.
Yeah, I don't know why they put that in the box.
But what we have done is made the wrist rest more robust, substantial.
I'd say robust.
And more usable on the go. Look at that. I think that's probably the best modding job that I've done so far.
With sellotape.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so now the keyboard's more usable on the go. Look at that. Okay, so what do we think about the Zephyrus then?
Well, there's no getting away from the fact that it is an incredibly powerful laptop that is incredibly slim as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But it ain't no laptop. I mean, really, despite the fact that it's super skinny and relatively lightweight, It's ostensibly still a desktop replacement machine, kind of like those massive Eurocom laptops with their huge, beefy GTX 1080s inside them.
Yeah, the battery life is okay for such a massively powerful rig, but it's not really actually a laptop. So on the desktop though, it is seriously impressive, but at the same time, it's also frighteningly expensive.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at about, I think it's nearly $3,000 for the whole package. So for us, this doesn't quite represent the full promise of what NVIDIA are trying to do with their Max-Q design. More interestingly, really the sort of like the really super skinny, super lightweight, ultra booky kind of laptops with sort of like a GTX 1060 in it, kind of like the Razer Pro, but with a really thin design.
Yeah, and perhaps down the line we might be able to see something like a 1050 Ti Max-Q design that fits all of that in, a bit more graphical power, but the same kind of thickness as a MacBook Air.
Yeah, having a MacBook Air which has got 1080p gaming performance, that's where Max-Q is really exciting. But still, the Asus Zephyrus is a lovely machine. It's really powerful, it's really fast, it's pretty skinny, but because of the ROG branding, Asus have just thrown everything they can at it, gone for the high-end jugular. And that's a tiny bit of a shame.
Yeah, and if you like what you've seen here today, then like and subscribe on the channel, and also check out the website of PCGamesN.com.
Indeed. So, thanks for watching. Cheers.
Bye.